if you want to lose weight and keep it off, I've got 3 words I want you to remember. Do not diet. I'm going to explain why traditional diets, as most understand them, don't work. This is a subject that's very near and dear to me because 17 years ago I was 40 pounds heavier than I am today. And not only was I able to lose the weight initially, I've been able to keep it off for 17 years and counting, hopefully for a lot longer past that. According to data from the National Institute of Health, taken in 2010, almost 70% of adults are considered either overweight or obese. This is a national problem that, if it doesn't affect you personally, certainly affects a friend or a loved one. In a few short minutes, I'll cover why traditional diets almost never work, and then I'll try to offer an alternative suggestion that is backed by research generally and has also worked for me specifically. So I know this is a very weighty topic. Yeah, I know, I couldn't resist either. So let's get right into it. Traditional diets almost never work in the long run. What I mean when I say traditional diet is the stereotypical celery sticks and soup kind of diet. Research done by UCLA researchers in 2007 show that even though dieting may produce some results in the short term, over the long term, it's about 2 to 5 years, 83% of dieters weighed more than they did before they even started dieting. So why the short-term success but long-term failure? Well, to answer that, I need to briefly lay out what happens to your metabolic system when you diet. Your body is programmed in a kind of feast or famine way. It never really knows where its next meal is coming from, and it's not going to assume it's right around the corner. So when you restrict your caloric intake drastically, your body goes into starvation mode and starts slowing itself down. Generally speaking, any weight loss will occur in the early stages of your diet, before the metabolism has slowed itself down. As a byproduct, most people report feeling sluggish and tired, which makes sense because the body is trying to preserve itself because it thinks you're starving. But weight loss obviously isn't a problem per se, and the issue is that when you go on a very restrictive diet, you're going to have to start eating normally again at some point. So I mean, let's face it, who really wants to eat celery sticks with a side of water for the rest of their life, right? What happens when you go back to eating regularly is that now you're taking in a lot more food than your body is used to, and it just puts the weight right back on, usually with a few more pounds just for good measure. So for a quick recap, you've made yourself fairly miserable while losing a small amount of weight, only to wind up right back where you started, if not worse. All right, so who's ready to diet? Anybody? Yeah, I can't blame you either. So if not dieting, what is a person supposed to do to achieve weight loss that will actually last? The solution to this dilemma is to combine reasonable nutrition choices with an exercise program of your choice. Exercise really provides the key that helps the food equation fall into place. You get the benefits of the caloric burn from the actual exercise, but more importantly, you keep your metabolism from falling, which is the larger benefit overall. You don't have to be a great athlete to do this. Just pick a type of exercise you don't hate and get moving. The key isn't necessarily in what exercise you choose, but that you stay consistent with it. Instead of cutting your calories by a lot, just make sure a few better choices are made along the way. Examples being drink iced tea or water instead of soda. If you like steak, that's okay. Just choose a leaner cut instead of the ribeye, more times than not. Or instead of a 16-ounce cut, choose an 8 or 11-ounce cut. I think you'll find you get just as full with that. There's no magic to it. Exercise coupled with decent nutrition is the key to lasting weight loss success. So to wrap things up, crazy fad diets are not going to get you to where you want to be. By making some changes to your food and adding in consistent exercise, you'll begin to win that battle and move towards a more healthy version of yourself. As the statistics have shown, the national trend of obesity continues to increase. And the tools I've mentioned are not fancy, but they work. I'm not a nutritional genius and certainly wouldn't ever claim to be, but if I can achieve lasting success using these methods, then maybe you or someone you know can too. Just remember, no more dieting.